Hey folks, today I've got a quick tip on how to transfer your videos and your photos at their full resolutions far faster than you're probably doing so today with either the base controller or the DJI RC. Now this feature is called Quick Transfer and it's been around on various but not all DJI drones for a couple years now, and it is way faster at transferring files, up to 30 megabytes a second, which means you'll get through like a 3 or 4 gig video file in not much time at all. And the coolest part about this is you don't need to have your controllers turned on at all. So to get it working, the very first thing you do is to open up the DJI Fly app. So once you tap that, got it open, here you go, simple as that, right? The next thing you need to do though is to go ahead and open up your drone. I know this may sound silly, you're like, why can't you just leave the drone folded up? It doesn't work that well. In fact, the transfer speeds are a fraction if you have the drone closed up like that. I suspect there's something to do with the antenna design or whatnot, but you do need to open up the drone. I've done this over and over again, and it's way, way faster if you do it this way than the other way. So then what you gotta do is you turn it on. Just simply, as usual, press this once, and then press it again, long hold, and it turns on the drone. And once you hear that little beep, then go ahead and watch for the screen here. It'll actually show right there, switch to quick transfer mode. That means that the drone is now powered on, Wi-Fi is on the drone, and you're ready to go ahead and connect to it directly. So I'm gonna go and tap on this. You can tap on the switch part or the text part, doesn't really matter. And now you'll see your aircraft listed right there. I then tap on that and wait a couple more seconds. It's gonna try to connect to this, and it's gonna ask you if you can join Wi-Fi, and you'll click join. It'll now connect directly via Wi-Fi to the drone itself. If this is the first time you're doing this, it may ask you to confirm that via button press on the back of the drone. It didn't for me, but just as an FYI in case you need to do that. At this point, go ahead and tap on View Album, and then I'll go ahead and open up the album itself. Now you'll see all the photos and videos on your drone's SD card. I can just simply tap on any one of these. I can play it if I want to. This is actually a vertical video one, but it doesn't really matter. You can play all of them. And if I choose this top option right here, you'll see the resolution it was shot at. In this case, this is a 4K one, but again, in vertical. If I go back to one of the other ones, I'll just choose this one right here. You can see the same thing, me getting this set up. Tap the information button at the top there, and I can see it's 3.5 gigs, 38 by 2160, and 30 frames per second. I'm going to pause this though. Now when I'm ready to download clips, I can multi-select those by choosing a little checkbox at the top here, and I can choose these two right there. You'll notice that these two have little arrows next to them in the very top left-hand corner of each clip, kind of hard to see because of the coloring and whatnot. That means I have not downloaded those clips yet, versus these other clips do not have arrows, which means I've already downloaded them to my local album. Once I'm ready, I choose the download button right there. I can download it to the DJI app album, or I can download it straight to my phone album. I've had better success downloading it to the app album than the phone album, but I've done it both ways. I just find that historically speaking, this works better first, and then save it to your phone album from there. Once I choose OK, you'll see the download speeds at the top there. It's generally going to hover between 25 and 30 megs a second. You can see I'm already at 5 to 6% done. And so for context, if we look at the size of those video clips, this one that I chose right there, that is 1.5 gigs. I'm going to go back. The other one here is, I think, 3.5 gigs. So we're talking basically 5 gigs of stuff. Between that, I'm already at 50% done. So it moves along very, very quickly. And again, far quicker than if you were to have your phone attached to the controller and downloading using the inherent signal between the drone and the controller itself. And then similarly on the DJI RC, you can't even download full resolution videos, only full resolution photos. So this is really the best way to do it. The only downside here being you do have to undo the arms on this. And the reason I say that's a slight downside is that I was traveling back on train a couple days ago, and I just wanted to quickly download stuff from the drone to my phone without like making a whole scene on the train. You know, you take a drone, you like unfold it on your tray table on a train, people are like, what are you about to do? Versus if I just simply had this, you know, like see it next to me all folded up and just press the button quietly and just let it do its thing, no one really pay attention. But again, maybe that's something down the road they can look to fix. Also from like a power and overheating standpoint, you can do this for a long time and it will not overheat the drone or anything like that. Versus normally if you have the drone on in camera mode, it turns on to a bunch of things and eventually you'll see the Mini 3 actually overheat. If you leave it on desk like this for even 15 minutes or so, it'll show overheating warnings because normally it's using everything to cool behind the scenes. Now, once you've got your clips downloaded into the album, you can do whatever you want with them. So I can go ahead and save them to my phone album. I just would check this again, choose this, choose the bottom option and say save to album, and that'll save it to my phone's photo album. And now, since I didn't mention it earlier on, if you do have a copy of those videos in your app already, that is the low resolution version. That's the version that's streamed from the aircraft to your phone or the controller while it's in flight, so that if you were to, for example, stick it in the canal or whatever the case may be, you still have a copy, a lower res copy of those videos until the moment it hits the water. I mean, not that I would do that with this drone, but if I did know somebody that would do that, that's something that may be super useful to them. It's also useful for certain things like master shots where you want to have different templates after the fact. You can see right now, I've just downloaded this master shots video base that I have right there. This is the 2.5-minute base of what master shots shoots, but now I can go and choose a little magic wand arrow thing and then play with all these different options without having to kind of have the aircraft nearby. In this case, I just have it all downloaded here, and I can play all day long with all these different silly templates to find exactly what I want, which is probably not the urban setting, but I could if I wanted to. Ultimately, if you edit primarily on your phone or an iPad or any other sort of mobile device, this is by far the best way to get that content from the drone into the DJI app and then onto your phone. Now, the other way is, of course, to use some sort of SD card reader for your phone. The only downside there is for things like master shots, that won't work. You have to, again, kind of download it from the aircraft into the app itself, and then it can go and utilize that in the shots and all the fancy music and stuff that you would expect from master shots. And then finally, it's worthwhile noting, if you haven't seen my full beginner's guide video, it's up in the corner right there. I go from start to finish over the course of more than 45 minutes on every single tip and trick you need to know on the Mini 3, from getting up in the air to all the features, all the functions, where you want to use certain things and not use certain things. And so check that out along with whatever else you see on the screen right here. With that, thanks for watching. Have a good one.